Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, I'm bringing you guys a breakdown of the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs AFC Conference Championship game. In this video, I'm going to be discussing how the last game went when these two teams played Week 7, how I believe these teams are going to go ahead and win this game, what the spread and over-under tells us about this game, as well as my final prediction to who I feel is going to be kissing that AFC Championship trophy and going to be punching their ticket to Super Bowl 54, I believe we are at now, in Tampa Bay. Before I get into it, I'd like to ask if that at any point inside this video you end up enjoying, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. It's free. I put out content every single day pretty much, talking about the NFL, my main focus, fantasy football, but obviously we're in January, so the focus on fantasy football is obviously at a low point right now because we're so far away from draft time in August, but make sure you hit that subscribe button because you know you want to win your fantasy football league. So let's get into it. First, we're going to be discussing how last time these two teams played, how that kind of went down, and why it was kind of a weird game. Before we get into understanding the game at hand, obviously here between the Chiefs at the Bills, I thought I'd bring it back, hit you guys with a bit of rewind here, and look at Week 7's game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, because I felt this was important in understanding what is going to happen this week in the AFC Championship game. Now, obviously, it's a bit different scenery. This game was in Buffalo. The AFC Championship game is in Kansas City, so this was one of those weeks where the schedule was completely messed up due to the coronavirus. The Kansas City Chiefs, I believe, were fine at this point, but the Buffalo Bills got screwed over the week before because the Titans had corona, so they had to move that game to Tuesday. I believe this was also one of those weird games where it was either a doubleheader Monday night or this was a Tuesday night game. So you can kind of attest some of that to this game as a whole, but both of these teams, in my opinion, just look so much more different than what we saw this week. Pat Mahomes, 21 of 26, 225, and 2 touchdowns in this game. That's an easy stat line for Patrick Mahomes. That's just what the man does on a weekly basis. Josh Allen, 14 for 27, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 INT. He really struggled in this game, and the Chiefs could really attribute their win to one man. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 26 carries for 161 yards. And you want to know who's not going to be playing likely this week? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So that's obviously a big knock on the Kansas City Chiefs, but they do have guys to fill in for this game. Demarcus Robinson had a nice game. Tyreek Hill played okay, 3 for 20. Travis Kelce really put the dinker inside of the Kansas City or inside of the Buffalo Bills, I could say. 5 for 65 and 2 touchdowns. We'll be talking about him a little bit later, but I thought I'd give you guys kind of an overview of what happened the first time the Kansas City Chiefs won a close game up against the Buffalo Bills. But if I'm being honest with you, I think these are two completely different teams to what we saw in Week 7 of the NFL season. That was just so far away from now. That's back when games were getting moved all around. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys this. If you guys want to pause and read all the stats, you can go ahead and do that. But I wanted to bring this up before we really break down what's going to happen this week in the AFC Championship game. Now we're going to discuss the spread as well as the over-under on this game. Both of the games of the weekend are on your screen, but you want to be focusing, obviously, on the Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is from a bunch of different sports books, but the consensus is that the over is 53.5, under 53.5, obviously the over-under, and for the other game, it is 51. So this is projected to be the highest scoring game of the week in compared to only by 2.5 points, but still that is definitely something to note, and I would believe that as well because I feel like this is going to be a very high scoring affair from either sides as long as Patrick Mahomes plays. But I want to give you guys my reasoning to why I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to end up suiting up on Sunday, why I'm not really going to get into too many hypotheticals of Chad Henne playing. The Buffalo Bills are favored, or the Kansas City Chiefs are favored in this game by 3 whole points. There are some books where it's 3.5, but it's pretty much unanimously -3 for the Kansas City Chiefs, meaning they are the favorite by 3 points. If you are not one of those people who likes to gamble, if you do like to gamble, sports betting, all that, please make sure you guys check out my spread picks show with Lucas that is going to be out later in the week. So the Buffalo Bills are getting 3 points in this matchup, which means the Chiefs are favored, which means that Vegas believes that Patrick Mahomes is going to be under center. If they don't think Patrick Mahomes is playing, this game is off the books. 100%. There, in my opinion, is no way that Vegas would let you lay any type of action on this game if the Kansas City Chiefs MVP caliber quarterback former MVP, Super Bowl fucking champion Patrick Mahomes was not healthy. There's no way they would let you bet on this. Why is that? Early on in the season, if you guys remember, Stafford one week, they weren't sure if he was going to play. They took the game down. Couldn't bet on it. So, Vegas believes that Patrick Mahomes is going to be under center, so that is my belief going into this game. Anything is possible, will be stuff people are talking about, but if I'm being honest with you, I think Mahomes ends up under center on Sunday's game. So to me, that's kind of why I wanted to show this, as well as talking about the over-under, because I believe that this game is going to go over. It is going to be a relatively high-scoring game in Kansas City. So now we're going to get to the Buffalo Bills key to victory. The keys, like DJ Khaled, the way that these motherfuckers are going to eat that W like their name were Jameis Winston and take home their AFC Championship game. The biggest key, one of the biggest keys, I should say, is establishing the run. But Nick, that's the most basic statement ever. I agree. It is, but the Chiefs allow the 19th most rushing yards per game in the NFL versus 13th most up against the pass, so it's easier to run on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are a very strong defense, but I think this Buffalo Bills offense, if they are getting the ball handed off accordingly, if Josh Allen's able to run a little as well, the Buffalo Bills will have a strong point in this game. What establishing the run also does is slow the game down. What the Chiefs want to do is play a high-tempo offense where Tyreek Hill is down the field within 1 fucking second, torching a guy, where they're going hurry-up offense, they're running up the field, they're marching, and it's simple. They want to make this game go as fast as possible. The Bills need to slow this one down, use their brain, coach up Josh Allen to win this game, so establishing the run slows down the game and keeps the Chiefs' defense on the field for longer, which will result in a good thing later when Josh Allen is able to torch those guys because they're so tired from getting ran a train on. Now, this is going to be hard for the Buffalo Bills because without Zach Moss, they really just have Devin Singletary, who has not really had all that good of a season last year in his rookie season. This guy is eating like his name's Ezekiel Elliott. Looked very good this year. Kind of sad, not looking too good. So establishing the run is one of the biggest keys for the Buffalo Bills. The next key is to contain Travis Kelce. I talked about this earlier. It's definitely easier said than done. Kelce scored 2 touchdowns against them week 7, had 5 receptions for 65 yards. Travis Kelce is the focal point of this offense, obviously, besides Patrick Mahomes. In the red zone, you want to know who they look for? The huge man named Travis Kelce. They're not looking for Tyreek Hill. They're not looking for these other guys. They want to get the ball to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is the guy who's wide open in the middle of the field when they're driving. You have to stop Travis Kelce and hope the rest of the team can center around stopping Tyreek Hill, stopping all these guys, because if you can contain Kelce, you notice when Kelce puts up these touchdowns, when he's getting a lot of yards in these games, the Chiefs win pretty much every single time, but if Kelce is struggling, then the Buffalo Bills will have a much better chance to win this game. And the final stop here and the chance for them to win, the biggest key is to pressure Patrick Mahomes. The only way to cause Mahomes from making mistakes, and even when you pressure him, he doesn't make very many mistakes, is to put that huge lineman up in the grill of Mr. Kermit the Frog, Patrick Mahomes. That is the way that you stop Patrick Mahomes. We saw the Dolphins do it pretty effectively in the second half of that game this year, making Patrick Mahomes second-guess himself. Have a guy in his face, and the man just throws it, and then you got to hope that that leads to some INTs or something crazy. The Bills' defense needs to be A1 like the steak sauce in this matchup if they want to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, if you guys have made it this far in the video, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Next, the Kansas City Chiefs keys to victory, and then I'm going to be talking about how I feel this game is going to go. Patrick Mahomes, obviously, the biggest key of them all. If Patrick Mahomes isn't playing, then if you're a Chiefs fan, I'm not a Chiefs fan, I'm a Dolphins fan, you're fucked. No way Henny is able to win this game. He barely got you out against the Browns. I don't think you have your best chance, or even a chance at all, up against the Bills if Chad Henne is your starting quarterback. So very simple, Patrick Mahomes is a huge key. Stopping Stephon Diggs is another key. The first time these two teams faced off, they held Stephon Diggs to only 8 targets with 6 receptions, 46 yards, and 1 touchdown, which was a game that the Chiefs obviously ended up winning. Diggs averages around 8 receptions per game, and he is vital to the success of this team. Kind of like how I talked about how Kelce is very important for the Chiefs, the Bills need to make sure that they stop Kelsey. The Chiefs need to make sure that they stop Stephon Diggs, because if you let Stephon Diggs torch you for like 110 yards, you are not going to end up winning that game on Sunday. And the special teams is also a point for the Kansas City Chiefs. Harrison Butker is pretty much an automatic kicker. Now, last week that wasn't too true. But again, you think that Butker is the best kicker still alive in the playoffs right now, and you need to hope that he is on his game kicking the ball for the Kansas City Chiefs, because those field goals are going to be very vital in a game that is super close like this one, as well as kick returns for the special teams. If they are able to bust one loose and make sure that Patrick Mahomes is rested, because Mahomes is going to be one of those, he's going to be a player that's banged up going into the game. So if you can make sure that Mahomes is kind of on ice in this game and make it so that he doesn't have to be on the field for super long, then you are going to succeed there. And obviously you got to hope Patrick Mahomes doesn't end up getting injured. So what is my kind of closing remarks on this game? I think the Bills win. Now, obviously, it's hard to bet against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Former Super Bowl champions. These guys have made the AFC Championship game not once, not twice, but 3 years in a row. These guys are simply built different. All 3 times have been in Arrowhead in Kansas City, so this is definitely going to be a scary game, but I think the Buffalo Bills overcome the Kansas City Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes is banged up and doesn't play, this is going to be a slaughter, O.J. Simpson style of the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think former Buffalo Bills running back O.J. Simpson is not going to be playing in this one, and Patrick Mahomes probably will be, so it's going to be a close match, a tit-for-tat match, but I think the Buffalo Bills ultimately will just be better in this game. I think they have a better overall team, in my opinion. Defense and offense as a whole is better, but again, I hope this doesn't come down to some type of field goal, because I have a feeling rookie Tyler Bass, kicker for the fucking Bills, is going to choke a fat hog if he has to kick the spot where it punches him a ticket to the Super Bowl. I really worry about that, but I think the Buffalo Bills end up defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 32-28. So let me know who you guys think ends up winning this game on Sunday. I'm very interested in it. I think Josh Allen has the biggest game of his career, and I love the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to be jumping through a table if they win. I'm not going to actually, but my brain metaphorically will be, because I love the Buffalo Bills. Even as a Dolphins fan, have a great rest of your guys' day. I love you all, as always. Good boy!